there's some things that need to change, obviously, in the NFL, and there's only one person we want to ask to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a new segment called Commissioner Chai. That's right. Yesterday, obviously, we had a question on the hashtag AskJage that said, JJ, let's say you were the commissioner for one day. What was the first thing you would do? Well, that carried over into a conversation today because Coach Chuck Pagano came in and said, there's something they need to change a little bit. There's something they need to extend. There's something that has gotten better but needs to get better. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Commissioner Chuck to plead his case.
I think we're headed in that direction.
I think so,
as far
too.
as getting better.
Because
a year ago this time, the competition committee got together and ruled in favor of this replay assist, which we're all seeing, in real time, every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever. These guys, officials are getting together, flags on the ground, and officials are getting together, and all of a sudden, flags picked up. Hey, replay assist is no bueno. It wasn't a hit to the head and neck area. Speaking of hits to head and neck area, we've got 3 plays, Pat.
Yep.
That we want to take a look at, and this was huge. This was early in this Minnesota at Tennessee, and this got a lot of attention. So, just in real time, how many flags got thrown in there? Right,
3.
All 3 of it, boom, 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 everybody, because it looks like unnecessary roughness, hit to the head and neck area of this defenseless receiver, right? But when you slow this thing down. All right, and the league talks about all these plays. You slow this thing down. The defenders are doing a great job of using the shoulder, taking the head out of the play, which we want, and tackling and hits like this, lowering the target. And you could see that the result of it looks like he got hit in the head and neck, but he didn't.
Just a Ram truck?
Yeah.
That's just a Ram truck.
He didn't even jump. He stayed on the ground, too. He didn't jump up and hit his head.
Because that's a great point, man. Yeah. When you launch and you leave your feet, that's one of the things.
Okay, so that's one play from this weekend.
And this led to Coach Callahan. He got unsportsmanlike, too. Another 15 yards. Add insult to injury because he was livid. Because we're all looking at the video boards, and we're watching it going, he didn't hit him in the head. He didn't use his helmet. He didn't hit him in the head and neck. That was a shoulder to the midsection. Okay, so you look at Denver and Atlanta. And this is a bang-bang play, right? And it looks like this guy's cage got rattled and got a forearm to the back of the head. But when you slow this one down, he lowers his target, and it's all shoulder.
Perfect hit.
And just because in the video and the guys on the telecast, they're talking about, hey, he brought the flipper through. That's why they called it. You can't bring a flipper through. Well, that's just a byproduct of a guy putting his shoulder in there.
Yeah.
And he's not using the flipper to hurt this guy. And then the last one was the Dallas, Cowboys and Texans. And it's kind of a bang-bang play again, right?
Oh.
And you watch.
Damn. Good hit.
That's Ram truck.
Yeah.
It's a great hit. But you watch Petrie, right? Both those guys, it's shoulder, keeping the head out of it, lowering the target area, and delivering a blow. This is what they want. They want the head out of it. They don't want hits to the head and neck.
But we still want big hits.
Yeah. But we want big hits.
Those flags couldn't
Absolutely, we want them. But it's bang-bang play, and you can't, so they need help. So the thing right now is replay assist. You get a hit to the head and neck area of a passer, a guy in the pocket, a quarterback in the pocket, and flags thrown, they can get involved. That's one of the components of that. Illegal man downfield, that's one of those. Hits out of bounds, that's one of those things. So what they're going to do after, 3 of these happen on the same, weekend of pro football, they're going to probably go look at this and say, hey, look, just like college reviews targeting all the time, and they come back and say, yes, it was. No, it wasn't. Pick the flag up. Kid gets to stay in the game and keep playing. Hopefully the competition committee gets back together this spring at the owners' meetings and makes a decision, hey, let's add hits to the head and neck area down the field, outside the pocket, add receivers, defenseless receivers to this so we can fix these.
Big penalties, 15 yards. That's good work, Commissioner Chuck.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Commish.
That's a good pitch there. I think it should be on everything.
No matter what.
Everything.
Why wouldn't it already be there, though?
And why is it on everything?
College does it.
There's so subjective on these things, and they're trying to, as hard as it is for these officials to officiate the game and follow the rule book in real time, it makes all the sense in the world. Again, timing a game, they don't want to slow down. They don't want to slow down the game to a certain point where we're throwing a flag on everything, or we can challenge everything. Belichick talked to you guys about it. Every owner's meeting I ever went to, he's like, hey, give everybody 2 challenges. Let us challenge anything and everything. But they don't want to take that out of the officials' hands. They don't want to make, because a lot of these calls, AJ, are subjective, and they're not all objective. So there's a lot of interpretation.
I think these aren't.
that's not subjective.
I don't think these are subjective. They're not subjective. Like, there's a clear way on how they're teaching you to tackle and keep your head out of it, not launch all that. So it's not like PI where you can say, his hand was down around the hip, or you can
maybe a better way. The bang plays that need to be able to.
Yeah, they need help though. It happens because in real time these look nasty, but they're actually
Commissioner
fine.
Chuck, we appreciate the fact that you see how hard of a role Cleat and the boys have, and the ladies that are NFL refs, which is why we think this replay assist is brilliant. Just let it be for everything.
Yeah.
Just have it be a full-time thing. Literally everything. What are the subjective calls out there now at this point? Because they're trying to take the subjectivity out of the calls completely, right? Because we don't want different calls in the fourth quarter.
Offensive holding.
Yeah, that's the one call.
The big time, you can't, like, if you go, because it's like.
Because everything's holding,
it's like
right?
once you open up Pandora's box and you start adding this, you start adding that, then it's like, okay. So they're really reluctant to.
Like pass interference, I guess, because the tugging.
So hard, right? So hard. So once you open up Pandora's box, we say, now you got to go, well, we got to add this, then we got to add that. Then you're at that point where, okay, everything is going to be replay assist, or everything can be challenged, and they don't want that.
Well, I understand, like, the holding for offensive linemen, and if AQ was here, he'd be saying, we don't need to be slowing down and zooming in on if every play is offensive holding or not. And I think corners would say the same thing, because that's a part of being a good corner, is being able to get away with, a little hold, little grab, whenever where the ref is looking, where the ref isn't looking. So if you're to get a all 22 view of that and it's in there, that would certainly change that. But there has to be some sort of sentiment for if it's egregious. Like, if you're egregiously wrong, like, there should be a way for the replay assist just be like, for the good of all of us, including the sport in which we ref, pick that flag up. Like, like, there is.
And they're going to come at times in games that are going to cost.
Thursday Night Football 3 weeks ago.
Cost one loss, cost you, you should be the 7th seed.
Chiefs Falcons.
But now you're at the 8th seed,
What was that, Vikings-Rams?
Yeah.
Yep.
Vikings-Rams, the face mask thing, Darnold dead.
Safety.
See ya, it's over. That was a very clear, very obvious, very important part of the game. It's like, if we have somebody up there already watching and they have access to get to the ref's ears, they should be able to go, nah, that was obviously hands. That was a face mask. That's 15 yards going the other way, as opposed to game over for the Vikings.
And I think that's why they're willing to, open this thing up to these that are so obvious, especially because they don't have, we're sitting at home watching on these big screens and all the technology we have now. We're like, that's a miss.
Good. He's got big screens all over the place.
Screens everywhere.
That's a miss. How can we miss that? But in real time,
2 eyes.
It's really, really hard.
Which is why we think
fast the game's
replay
moving.
assist is great. And it has been a great development and a great addition to, the sport. If that person has direct access already to an ear.
Exactly.
And if every single call they're going to kind of anyways have to talk about it, those egregious ones, I think they should fix. Personally, I think they should. Don't you think, AJ? Don't you think they should be given a green light?
I assumed, honestly, that they had more freedom than they actually do right now.
Yes.
I really did. I assume if they're there, some of the, I don't know. Yeah, it seems like common sense, but I know there's a lot more to it. I don't know. Do they not trust some of the replay assist people to make a decision that quickly? Do they feel like you have to look at it more?
Again, that's got nothing to do with it. Whether they trust that guy or not. It's just like opening up Pandora's box. How much slowing the game down.
Slowing the game down speeds the game up.
That is what I don't like, because I feel like.
Well, if they got to stop and look. If it's an easy one.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Those are easy.
All the ones that they've done this year, though, when they have picked up a flag, it's been almost instantaneous. They're not going and looking at anything. So it's like that's a cop out. It's like, hey, well, everyone bitches when we do this because it slows the games down. The replay assist stuff has not slowed the game down.
And you got to remember, these things are only going to get involved too if there's a flag on the ground. if those hits happen,
If there's no
flag on around, there's no replay assist. It's not like the other side of the ball can go, hey, that was a hit to the head.
Okay, so they can't say, hey, you guys missed something big there, and then they just take a flag out and drop it.
Got to be a flag on the ground.
They can't, like, if there's a clear and obvious face mask and no flag is thrown, which is
That happened the other, the one you're talking about,
they
right?
can't go that way.
They can't say, hey, you blew it.
Yeah.
And so
hey, that's a face. You guys missed that. Throw a flag. And the guy's sitting there, okay, put it back on the
Can't do that.
No, that's not happening.
Well, because I guess that could lead to situations.
Oh, can you imagine? Drop a flag. We're like, that close.
Yeah, especially in a big moment that potentially swings a gambler. And all of this is the reason why it's also heightened when it hasn't been in the past. And not that people haven't cared in the past, but there's no replacement refs happening in this era.
No.
With the amount of money that's being gambled on every single game. Can't happen. So whenever there's like things that are egregious that are taking place that are swinging millions and millions of actual dollars, it's hard not to get into the script talk whenever it's like the ref who's supposed to be the representative of not only the league but the sport as a whole is the reason why it goes there. Like that's why the replay assist I think is so valuable in this current era. Do they not let them turn on the mic? Like they're like not allowed to chit chat with the refs if there's no flag down or if it's not something that they're allowed to talk. They're not even allowed to turn on the microphone. Got it. So
they have the set of rules right now what replay assist can get involved with.
Right in front of them.
Everybody knows what that is.
Yeah, so like for the holding ones, like I get offensive linemen, there's holding on every play. You don't want to be replaying, assisting that, but couldn't they just say like, hey, penalties of 15 yards or more? So like then at least it involves like a pass interference that's 40 yards down the field, and then you're not nitpicking like, oh, well, this guy was this close to or this much offsides. He timed the snap up and they didn't call it, but we need to review that. So couldn't they just make that type of stipulation? Because like a 5-10-yard penalty, of course, it's yards, it hurts, but like that's so much different than a 15-yard penalty, like you were saying, or a 30-yard PI or a Kyle Pitts end of the game against the Chiefs. Because that was like the first blunder that the refs had was when Kyle Pitts fourth down against the Falcons and the Chiefs. Everyone's saying.
Well, it's a week after the hold.
Was that the one you said he got held?
No, he got
the
face.
PI.
It was a face guard.
Yeah, and the guy
his
didn't
back
turn the
was
ball.
to him.
Yeah. Clear and obvious.
5-point game.
No, again,
Holding's
as
tough.
long
I
as
think holding's
there's
tough.
no flag thrown, there's no flag on the field. That's never going to happen.
So what
where
we're
they're going to be able to come in and say, hey,
Commissioner is saying.
Commissioner Chuck.
Commissioner Chuck is saying, hey, here's reality.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Commissioner Chuck just said. We need to add this to the stipulations. Commissioner right, I think we're saying, if it's common sense and it's obvious, replay assist should be able to assist in the entire thing.
Or even like inside 2 minutes. Like, couldn't there be some sort of, obviously you can't challenge play inside 2 minutes. Couldn't there be like inside 2 minutes, we can replay assist the shit out of this so that there isn't a situation where we screw this game up with the entire game on the line?
I don't ever think they're going to take it out of their officials' hands to that point. And again, I can't reiterate enough. Having the opportunity to do what I did in 2018, the year I set out with the officials, like we all got great respect for how hard that job is. Yeah. But even more so now, working with those guys hand in hand for a year, my God, is it hard.
Which is why
they do a great job. They bust their asses.
We think they should be full-time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we think they should get the assistive technology and 8K for everything so that they're not getting their asses booed out of
We can't even get cameras on every angle yet.
What's that, AJ?
Don't you think refs want the replay assist? I know the couple refs I've asked in games. They said we just want to get the call right, whether they're lying or not. Like whether you have to pick their flag up or not. Like they just want the right call.
What was that game we were at earlier this year? The Lighthouse. We saw a ref get his penalty overturned.
It was the Steelers Colts.
It was the Steelers game
in the end zone. Yeah,
this dude picks up his flag. It gets overturned.
Really? Yeah.
For the next probably 45 seconds, just standing over there on the sideline, just not happy.
Well, they get graded.
Yeah.
You guys know that, right? And it costs them playoff games. It costs them Super Bowls. It costs them all those guys.
Yeah, they don't have to answer any questions ever about their grades, which is another big part of the problem.
I think they'll eventually come around to be more transparent, and be able
No, they won't.
I know it's always been a big gripe. Hey, as a head coach, you got to stand before the firing squad.
Yes.
And just, explain why you
Players.
did what you did. Why'd you give the go-ahead on
It's a fake
certain? It's a great question. Scratching my head, I'm asking myself. I'll be asking myself that for as long until I'm put 6 feet under.
Listen,
It'll still probably come back to haunt me.
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
There's no air. Next question. Hey, I got a question about with that one. So what was the? It was never supposed to get snapped. You see, it was supposed to be a full start if there anything or too many men on the field. Then we're just punting it back up. But you would never stand it because we snapped it with 14 people over top of the thing. Yeah.
Sure.
So, and then turn the game. Yeah, we get it. Yeah. Next question.
And I got up right every day. He was hurt, so we had to back along. So why did we even talk about it?
Well, you had a guy from Stanford. You see, normally Stanford people are super intelligent, which this guy certainly is. He's done everything for us. He's been a jack of all trades, so we put him in a position. Probably shouldn't have done that. I guess now hindsight's 20/20. You do the whole thing. Next question.
I screwed.
So you put somebody that hasn't been in practice in. Once again, he wants Stanford. He is done.
I think we should move on.
Yeah, exactly. But these refs, if they do, they do the pool reporters. And then it's typed out. We never get video of it. Nope. It's never really, there's never any real follow-up. It's just, here's our answer. Take it. And then we're gone.
It's a ton of words on one sheet of paper.
Just it's the most old school, boring media that there is those refs and the pool reporters. Because nobody knows where it happens, how it happens. We just see this shit getting typed up or whatever.
Might just be Pelissero.
It might be.
I think he'd say this.
Yeah, it might not even be the refs giving answers.
Yeah,
we still have no idea. But we think that the technology should help them. And we think that they should have to answer some questions. To Jage's point, we think they should be full-time. Mm-hmm. We think they should be a team. And we think we should hold this ref team. They should be a team in themselves. The 33rd team. Who is it? The refs. They should be held in very high regard. Shout out to you, Commissioner Chuck.
Yeah, Commissioner.
What's up, Chuck?